Hi, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP, and today I'm putting together a printer I bought off eBay used. And so I'm going to put the printer together, get it working, set it up with Clipper, and then do some small upgrades. So let's go ahead and get started. So last weekend I bought this PEI Ender 3 S1 Plus, and I feel like I got a pretty good deal on it. I think it was with shipping $141, and according to the description, it works. But if you look at the bed here, it looks like it's beat to hell. Again, that bed looks awful. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this printer together. I'm hoping the extruder works and everything's functional, except, again, it's just pretty beat up. But I'm going to start working on this. So let's put it together. So I've switched over, and you can see I now have it sitting on my workbench. What I want to show you is if I take off the bed, it actually looks like somebody attempted to print on the magnet. So I'm not, that's sort of messed up. And so now I have these, feels like a piece of filament on the magnetic bed, or the magnetic plate here. So let me try cleaning this all off. And I've actually bought another plate because, again, just from the pictures, this was so messed up. I didn't want to screw with it. And what I've done is I bought a two-sided PEI sheet. So we'll be switching that out. Let me just leave this as is for right now. So let's set the printer up, and then I'll worry about switching stuff out. So let me just start putting things together. And what I do is the first bit I need to put together is the gantry. And what I do is just leave this sort of hanging a little bit off my desk here, and then I'll set the gantry up. Now, I apologize for the glare. I'm sort of sitting facing my window here, my workbench. But what I'm doing is I usually put the printer sort of hanging off the desk. Now, what's funny here is on this printer, these extrusions are actually, usually it screws in from the bottom. This is the first one I've done from the side, which is okay. So let's see if we can get these screwed in tight. Just getting that all screwed in. I'm going to loosen that a little bit. I want at least a little bit of play here, so that way I can mess around with it if I have to try to square it up. So now that I have the one side in, I'm just going to flip this around, and let's get the cord out from underneath here. And I'm just going to go in here through the side. I'm not even going to take it off the side of the desk, and see if I can just get this to work. Now, one thing I am seeing is I do want this off the desk. I need a little bit more room here, and notice this isn't sitting totally in the track here. There's a little bit of a track. Feels like my screw bit. Or, no, it did not. That time it did. As I said, I'm not screwing these in too terribly tight. I'll show you why here in a minute. Okay, and let me pause the camera and just show you the top here so you can see what the problem is. So if we look at the top of the printer, this piece is not in. That's probably given some play into the gantry here. So I'm just going to screw this in real quick. And let's see if I can get this started. Again, there was a reason here not to tighten everything too much, because I want to have a little bit of play so I can get this started. And that felt good. So we'll get that one in. And let me do the other side here. Now from the look of things, I have lots of tightening to do. Like I said, this printer is a little beat up, which is sort of funny because it's actually relatively new. I mean, somebody couldn't have had it for more than a year. I guess maybe a year. And so it just really beat up. I mean, I'm actually noticing nicks and scuffs in some of the extrusions here. That's nothing we can't deal with. Extrusions doesn't really matter except if it's in the wheels here. And those all look good. Now, so I have this top end. Now what I'm going to do is go down and tighten the sides of the gantry. So I have the gantry all put on. Appears to be tight. As far as I can tell, it's squared up. Now I'm just going to install the, see if I can get this in here. I think this sits in the back. Then let me look at the pictures. So now we can't see it as well here, but I've gone ahead and got the filament runout sensor plugged in and the spool holder, and that all appears to be correct. Now my next step is, let me rearrange the camera a little bit, is to work on this hot end. I really have a crazy angle here, so I'm going to apologize. But as you can see, the hot end moves a whole lot, the extruder. Now there's a nut under here I can tighten to get these wheels closer. So what I'm going to do is find a little wrench that works here and try tightening this and see if I can get this where it does not move. And I'm already tightening it. So this is, and as you can see, it's not moving. So I just did a couple turns of this nut here. This is on the bottom of the extruder, so the bottom of the carriage here. Like I said, I apologize for the awful angle, but I didn't have any cameras, so I'm using my phone to get under here, and of course don't have a setting right. This appears to be traveling smoothly, and it's rock steady. So that's really good. And I'm just taking a look at these wheels to make sure they're not all banged up, and they actually look okay. So I'm going to start working on some of the other parts. So my next step here is I'm going to connect the ribbon cable. It looks like that's going to need to slip behind here. This actually has a label on it, so I'm going to take the label off. And basically this label is just telling me to where to hook it up on the hot end. I really don't need that right now, so I need to, I'm putting the ribbon cable there, and then I have my motor cable. Let's see if we can get this in. I'm just going to slip this into the Z motor here. And then this is the end stop right down in here. Those just plug in. Then we're going to slip the cable into the harness on the hot end. Let me move the camera around so you can see it. So there's a harness right here. And so I'm going to slip the cable in there. So I want this in there. And I'm going to open this up. Let's go ahead and plug this in. Then I'm going to slip it in. Okay. Now I have this connected here. And it looks like I need some more slack. So I'm going to move this ribbon cable a little bit more. Okay. So I'm just moving the ribbon cable over here on the side because I want to make sure I have plenty of slack. So I don't want any stress here. Now that feels good. So what I'm going to do is let's keep going around the printer, and we'll go ahead and plug everything in. So I'm going to plug in the Z on one gantry. Just going to plug this in. Okay, so that's plugged in, and then let me rotate the printer around and we'll do the other Z and then the filament runout sensor. So as you can see, I have one Z plugged in here, and these are actually labeled really well. And I have these little covers here. Let me plug in the Z, and then just looking at this, there's a filament runout. So that's plugged in. And then the last thing I have to plug in looks to be the screen. So let's go ahead and do that. So the screen should be pretty easy. I'm just going to take the plug here, plug it in. And then it looks like I need to slide this into place. Lift this up. I have it upside down. That might help. There we go. So the screen's in place. Now, the moment of truth. Let's try plugging it in and see if it starts. Now, if you can hear the BL Touch, or I'm sorry, CR Touch just did a check. So that's good. And if I look at the screen, and I don't trip on other piece of equipment, see we actually have, so let's try running the home. I've just asked it to auto home. Let me move the camera. So we'll run the home tentatively. That appears to be working. Now the X end stop worked. The Y end stop worked correctly. So I'm seeing that now. And then hopefully the CR Touch, will work. Everything appears to be running well. Something I probably need to do is I want to check the gantry here in a minute just to make sure that's tight. Okay, so the CR Touch hit the bed and it's coming up. That is very good. It has homed. Everything appears to be working. Let's try one other test here. I'm going to test the hot end. So let me change the camera around so you can see the screen a little bit better, and then we'll check to make sure that we're heating up and cooling. Now, you can't see this great, but what I'm doing is I'm heating up the nozzle to 205, and I'm going to do the heated bed to 65. Let's go over to home, and if we look up here at the top, let's see if they both heat up. I haven't done any PID tuning or any of that yet, but it looks like both the hot end here at the top is heating and the bed is heating. So the bed on this thing is not heating too quickly, which isn't a big deal. It's just something to note. Now, I'll be honest, before I found this thing on eBay, I didn't realize that the S1 had a plus version. And I'm actually pretty happy with it because I wanted another bigger bed printer. Now, both of these appear to be going. So what I'm going to do is zero the temperature out so I can start working on some other things. So now it's cooling, and let me check some other areas that fix, and let's take a look. I'm just going to check the gantry here. That appears to be nice and tight. Tighten the belts a little bit more. And the Y definitely needs to be tightened some. Okay, so that's feeling good. Now, what I'm going to do is let's raise this up. Let's see if we can fix this bed. Now that has a wobble in it. So let me crawl underneath here, and what I'm going to try to do is get a camera looking up and we'll go ahead and tighten that bed. Now, similar to the extruder, on the two wheels on the right-hand side, I have my concentric nuts again. So I can actually tighten those. And I'm going to tighten both of these. So I want this bed to be nice and stiff. And let's give it a little bit more. Now it gets this front one that was a problem. So now the bed, one, it's rolling well, but also it's much tighter. And I'll give the back one a little, another twist. Yeah, that's exactly how I want it. So the bed's moving, and so I just tighten these nuts right in here. And that just makes the wheels grab the bed more, or grab the extrusion more. So as you can see, the bed's no longer, I mean, it moves a little bit when I touch it, but it's not real loose. And that's the way we want it, because if we want our prints to come out good, we need both the extruder to be tight, gantries to all be tight, and make sure everything's can roll and there's no movement, or as little movement as possible. Now, let me get up here and let's make a couple other changes. I'm just going to plug things back in and move the printer up, or I'm sorry, move the Z-axis up. And that way I can take a look at this bed and figure out what the deal is. Now, as I mentioned, I bought a new PEI sheet, and I was hoping just to use the magnet that's here. But as I mentioned, that's sort of banged up. Apparently, if I try to move anything, it wants to home first, which is okay. Now, I actually have a sonic pad I'm going to use with this printer. So I have a couple upgrades. I have a ceramic hot end I can put on. And then I also have the new PEI sheet. Okay. So let me get that moved up, and then we'll take a look at the magnetic plate. On the magnetic plate, it looks like I actually have a piece of filament here stuck in it. And you look, not a piece of filament, but a piece of plastic. So that would have caused the bed to not sit right. I'm also going to gently scrape off some of the gunk here. I use isopropyl alcohol on my beds usually to clean them. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this. I use I think it's 90 proof alcohol. I don't think this will hurt the bed any. Yeah, that piece of plastic actually made a divot here. Now, I don't think that's going to matter. I'm going to leave this magnet on here for right now. Clean the screen too on here. So I've cleaned the magnet here, and let me get my PEI sheet. Now, the PEI sheet I bought comes with a magnet, so I have that here. And what I'm going to do is just put this aside. And if this one magnet that's on here turns into a problem, I have a spare. So let me just put this over with my spare parts. And the PEI sheet I bought is textured side, smooth side. And I have to look up. I can't ever remember which one's which. I think it's smooth is recommended for PLA. So now, from the look of it, this bed actually has two little screws back here. And that's to guide the other bed in. So there's two notches here. But I really don't care about those. Now, looking at it, it's not holding anything in. So let's just take those out. So let me pause this, and I'm going to get rid of those screws in the back. I got those screws out, so I'm just going to take this PEI sheet and basically just go into the back here. Now, take a quick look. Yeah. Of course, I just need to line it up. Okay, so now I have a new bed on here. And from the feel of it, I don't feel any lumps from where that divot was taken out. So I think this is okay. Now this is a cheap bed I got off Amazon. I'll put a link below. And I actually have to check. It looks like, oh, yeah, I do. Thought the bed looked a little messed up. It might help that I take off the stupid plastic. I'm going to take that off, and then let me check the other side too. So with the new bed installed, I'm just going to pause here, and then I'll do a separate video converting this over to the ceramic hot end. But right now, this is all set up. I do need to move it over to Clipper, and I'll do that in another video as well. So I'm just going to break this up a little bit so these are shorter. So I want to thank you for your time today. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I look forward to talking to you again in the future. Bye. Hi, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP, and I want to thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. If you need some additional help, I've also posted some links in the video description. You can set up a 15-minute help session with me, and I'm more than happy to sit down with you and see if I can help you out. If you need some additional help, I'm also going to try doing 1-hour sessions for anybody that's interested. And like I said, I'm testing this stuff out. I want to thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again next time. Thanks. Have a good day.